Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, let's continue on with our video at the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. Alright, this is where we're going next. Yeah, you know this one's going to be good. Yep, we're in the rock and mineral section now here. And you got basically describing the different types of rocks. See what there are is there are three different types of rock category. There's sedimentary rocks, which is basically it settled in soil, got compressed and turned into something hard over time. There's igneous rocks, which are rocks that basically came from in the ground. They're lava basically. So you'll see different kinds of lava remnants. And then there's metamorphic rock. And metamorphic rock is when one of the other two types of rocks are pulled deep into the ground and baked and compressed into something else. So you can see different kinds of things here. These are more volcanic nature, so those are like igneous. These are like more sedimentary, so it's your coals and your sandstones, some limestone and shale. And then you get over here, these are rocks that have gone underground and been transformed and squeezed and baked into something else. And this exhibit here shows some of the different types of rocks that are found beneath Texas. Different types of sandstone up on the top there. Even some sandstone over here. Nice allanite. Limestone. I've shown you a whole bunch of limestone under my house. Yeah, this whole area is kind of done that way. Volcaniclastic, evaporite. Okay, this little section is dealing with plate tectonics here, and this kind of shows the Earth and all the places where the plates join together. Remember, I used to live in Southern California, right about there, and you can see the San Andreas Fault goes right down here. It actually kind of goes along the southern or the western coast of South America. They get some really big earthquakes here, and some really big earthquakes here. And up along Indonesia, the Indian Plate. See, we've all heard of Mount Everest. Mount Everest is on this mountain range right here. And basically the whole continent of India broke away from Africa a long time ago. It has been moving north, and it actually collided with Asia. And the impact is what pushed up the Himalaya mountains and created the tallest mountain range on the planet. So this exhibit here actually allows you to experience what an actual earthquake feels like. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot with this because I've experienced the real thing. You get to choose between a minor earthquake, a major earthquake, or an extreme earthquake. I guess these people went with the major one here. Now they're going to maybe push the extreme one here. Let's see what happens. Nah, kid doesn't understand the buttons here. Alright, this is kind of a cool exhibit. It allows you to simulate topography. There's actually like dirt in here you can kind of shove around, and it calculates where all the holes are, and so you can kind of see how the water fills in and how the topography changes. That's actually a cool little thing. The kids seem to be more interested in throwing sand around right now, but that's actually kind of a cool exhibit. Almost looks like they're having the network problems that hit the rest of the country. Now here we get into a few more fossils. Those are ammonites. I got a ammonite in my collection. Mine's only about the size of a quarter, but fish, it's what's for dinner tonight. Although I'll admit that one's probably a little dry. Now we're getting into the rock and minerals section. You know, this is going to be my favorite part. Check that thing out. That's just gypsum. That's pretty. That'd look awesome in my collection, wouldn't it? That would definitely have to go on top of the desk. I don't think it would fit anywhere else. So this is gold. I've been thinking about talking to Kara. See, I'd love to have a nugget of gold in my collection. Maybe not something that size, but something that size would be cool, right? Look at that. That's gorgeous. I don't even know if the camera's doing it justice. Nice little nuggets down here. Holy cow, that's gorgeous. I know I keep repeating myself, but it is. Okay, they got a section here that's dealing with different birthstones. So I guess these are examples of some of the different birthstones. What is this? Tanzanite. Let's see, that one in the middle is topaz. Some pretty stuff in there. Look at that one in the background. It's got the purple streak on it. Those look like opals. Let's see if they are. Yeah, those are opals. That's what I thought. Different birthstones here. Blue one there, that's a sapphire. I don't know how well the camera's doing on that. I think that's a ruby. That's kind of pretty too. That's called stibnite. Never seen anything like that. Now I got some fluorite, but my fluorite doesn't look like that. My fluorite also fluoresces under a black light. Alright, and that's pyrite and fluorite. And then this red thing here, what is that? Wolfnite. That's pretty too. I got some pretty nice specimens in here. Some other pretty things in here. I don't know if you can see all the texture on that, but that's really cool. That's more fluorite. That one's pretty too. What do they call that? Tourmaline with albite. I really like that too. I have a piece of the blue stone there is called azurite, and the green is called malachite. I have a piece of I have a little specimen about the size of a golf ball that is azurite and malachite, but that one's gorgeous. You know, they say there's things like museum quality stuff, and I'm proud to say I have a few museum quality pieces. Is that malachite? Yeah. So that's kind of pretty. I got a nice piece of that. Is that desert rose? I haven't seen it red before. No, that's wolfnite. That's the same thing as that red thing over there. That thing right there. And I thought that was another piece of malachite.
Mira, sobre este blue.
That's copper. I just picked up a piece of copper yesterday at the rock store. Mine's not that big though. Look at that. And that one's kind of pretty too. Let's see what that is. Shatakite. Very cool things here too. And that looks like that's more pyrite. Yeah. They got these little displays over here. You can push on the individual thing and see what it is. Fluorite on quartz. That's pretty. Like I said, I got some fluorite, but mine's green. See, my fluorite looks more like that. Is that what that is? Yeah, that's fluorite. I bet you that looks all amazing under a black light. this thing is Morganite and Clevelandite. And lepidolite. You knew when I came into the rock section I was going to spend a lot of time with every one of these. Look at that, that's gorgeous. The green and the white in there. Some of this stuff turned into jewelry, kind of pretty. Not as much into the polished stones. I think I've mentioned that like 1,000 times, but that one back there is really cool. I got something like that. Mine doesn't quite have that glorious green crystal in there, but that's a fluoro apophyllite and stilbite, and I have a big chunk of that. Pretty. Ooh, look at that. I don't know if the camera's even picking that up. Okay, that's just a big, massive opal. I don't see the fire on that though. You can see the glow, but a lot of times the fire kind of flickers. But that is a gorgeous opal. Holy cow. Different pieces of quartz. Some decent stuff in there. I think I got pieces that are probably nicer, but that's all right. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I thought that was pyrite. I've never seen pyrite in the triangular formation, so usually pyrite is like cubic. So that's really cool. Just for the record, pyrite is sometimes known as fool's gold. Can you see why? Look at that thing. Okay, that is that thing. Sphalerite? Sphalerite? I don't know how to pronounce that. That thing in the back is really pretty. And so is that. That's copper. Look at that piece of calcite.
I want to eat this and I don't.
It's just a nice piece of quartz back there. What is that? That's kind of cool too. Okay, fluorite, what I thought. No, I really did think so. That's kind of cool too. Okay, now check this thing out. This is the thing that I saw on the Facebook page. That is 6 feet tall, and it's both halves of a geode. Big amethyst geode. It's gorgeous. Look at that crystal up there. That's really neat. Like I said, this is a thing I saw on the Facebook page, and this is a thing that made me want to come visit this. And it basically looked like that on the outside, and they split the thing in half. And that was what was inside. That's amazing. I want it. I put that on my Amazon wish list. Do you think somebody would get it for me? Yeah, I didn't think so. There's a big ammonite fossil. That thing's probably 22 inches across there. Look at the colors on that. That's gorgeous. That would look awesome in my front yard, but it'd probably get stolen. You think? All right, so I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent here. Because something interesting happened as a result of that last scene. In that last scene, of course, you recall I was admiring that beautiful ammonite and kind of wished that, wow, I wish I could have something like that. Well, look what appeared in my Facebook profile the next day. Yeah, if you ever ask yourself how you can get a great product like Facebook, where you get this great service for free and you don't have to pay anything, and you're asking yourself, what's the product? What do they do to earn their income? You're the product. They are listening to you. They're listening for things that you say you want to buy, and then they're feeding ads to you. So Yeah, I don't know. This big tech is really kind of a little scary when you think about it. Anyway, back to the Perot Museum. Oh, here's the ability to look inside of another geode. Look at this one. All the amazing stuff on that. The quartz. The fingerprints on the glass. It's gorgeous. Oh, look at that too. That's pretty cool. That's got to be really fragile. But look at those crystals on top. Those are pretty. Oh, this is one of those ones that is UV reactive. See, I have a piece of that does that too. I like how they kind of switch back and forth between the black and the normal lights. Wait for the black light to flip on again here. Look at that. Pretty, huh? Yeah, now you know why I like the UV reactive minerals. I guess this one does. I got a piece of that too, and a piece of that. I think I got one of those. Definitely have one of those. Mine isn't as awesome as that is, but that's still pretty cool. Wow, look at that thing. You know, when I got that one big cluster thing I showed you in the past, I thought that was the biggest one I've ever seen. But check that thing out. That thing's at least 2 feet tall, 10 inches in diameter. It's got a weight of 100 pounds. Beautiful. And see, I think this section here seems to be dealing with like different colors that appear in the minerals. So that was white. This one seems to focus on pink. And so there's the pink stone there. And I guess this here is when you slice off of one of these. So they're kind of holding these together. And I guess that's pink inside. And purple, all the colors of the rainbow. There's our amethyst again.
Give me the green one. Oh, I like green.
And the blue.
Oh, fingers.
And green stones. Look at that. That's beautiful. I love that. And that too, that's actually really kind of cool. And check out that green crystal. That's amazing. What is that? The Viennite. And you got yellow here, although this almost seems more orange. And they don't have sulfur. Sulfur is very decidedly yellow. But those are some pretty cool specimens too, aren't they? And this is their orange section here. Look at that crystal. Look at that. That's the red section. That's vanadinite in the background. I have a piece of that. But that thing's amazing. Let's see what that is. Rhodochrosite quartz. I don't know. I've never heard of that. That's pretty though. This section over here seems to focus on some of the geology of the planet, and even more specifically, getting into like energy development. And so it goes into some of the drilling techniques that we have and how we learned about things. This shows what the bottom of those oil towers you see out in the ocean look like. You know, basically it's just a big platform goes all the way down to the ground, and then the drilling goes through that, versus having just a well right on the ground and drill right into the ground. But they're going through all these layers and getting down to the point where there's oil down there and pump it all out. This shows kind of a cool way that the geology can be twisted by geological forces. You know, all of those layers that you're looking there were at one point flat, but they've been pressed together and they've twisted into shape. And sometimes these little twists create gaps in between the layers, and that's where the oil sometimes accumulates. So you got to remember, this is Texas. So if you thought we were going to totally be bashing energy production here, you know, there's a little of that here. But for the most part, we're trying to, you know, educate people. So these are some of the different types of drill heads that they use for drilling for oil and natural gas. In fact, this is kind of shows how the whole thing works. Now this model is 10 times normal size. So imagine that being one of these things. And that's sort of what's happening. So this kind of shows how the oil refining takes place. They're pumping in the different materials, and then they're separated off into different grades of thing, from heavy fuel oil to diesel to gasoline to petrochemicals, even light gas like natural gas. They're all separated out using a mechanism like this. Takes a minute to get to this because the kids like to push buttons here and they don't even know what they're pushing, but this is kind of an impressive display. It kind of shows how it all works. How the lighter elements work themselves higher and the heavier elements get pulled out. And so now we're in the section called Discovering Life. So this is a little display here that shows the different periods of life on Earth. Yeah, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, Permian, Cambrian, and it shows where kind of all of the major extinction level events happen. Because you can see here, there was one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And oftentimes it's one of these major extinction events that defines the boundary of one period to another. So they're calling this the Precambrian, which is about 4 billion to 541 million years ago. The Cambrian, that's when life first started really appearing. Get more and more recent. Periods where plants kind of ruled the earth. Started to get some insects and some larger creatures. Permian, now we're starting to get the rise of the reptiles. Some of the creatures that were around in those days. Look at that. Look at those teeth. Jurassic, Cretaceous, and then boom, all gone. And then it's the rise of the mammals. So here we're kind of getting into the evolution of the human species and some kind of major steps along the way. And what their skull looked like. Homo erectus, first creature that kind of looked like a human. And their skull. And the Neanderthal, they really began looking like humans in their skull. It's kind of haunting. This thing looks real. Some images of like CAT scan slides there. I don't know if that's real or not, but that's supposedly the human brain and the central nervous system. That's what it all starts with, right there. So that's one of our ancestors from way back. That's what they call Australopithecus. I've actually learned how to say that because I've heard that described before. Okay, so this is kind of simulating like sequencing of music. We've gotten into kind of the technology area, so you can program. Yeah, so you can. So if you didn't have a bunch of kids pressing buttons here, you could probably program it with time to make music. Because you can see when it goes up here, you go because I set it to do that. Yeah, we're into the technology section, and got a lot of buttons, so the kids love to press buttons. Looks like this display is supposed to kind of show kind of the basics of robotics and programming, but I don't know, I can't seem to get any of the things to work here. So you know, a lot of times kids play these things and they don't know what they're doing. They're just hitting buttons, and I don't know, some of these electronic devices don't like to be just banged on like that. Alright, you kind of step into the camera area here and it inserts a face on you. It's like, okay, that isn't exactly the one I was looking for, but yeah, there's me as a female vlogger, in case you ever wanted to know. So these are just a bunch of tubes, and they got little, I don't know, soft things floating through there. And you get little switches at the bottom here. You can change where it goes, and then they pop out to these different holes here. Yeah, this is keeping the kids going. Kind of a dangerous place to be around here because they're running around like lunatics. You know how kids are. So this is like a show I used to see called Robot Battles. Only instead of trying to kill each other, the robots just have to touch with each other, and once they touch, the one that gets touched loses. But they got little like Xbox type controllers that allow you to maneuver them around here. And I guess this is another like robot demonstration kind of thing where they use robots to flip the balls over the different barricades there. Once again, all controlled by a bunch of Xbox controllers. Yeah, I can't deny this has some very interesting architectural styles. That's the main escalator I rode up there when I went up there and showed you that video at the beginning. It's a very interesting place. This reminds me of something that my parents and I used to go to when I was a kid in San Diego. There was a museum called the Rubin H. Fleet Space Museum, and there was a lot of hands-on interactive kind of stuff that's really kind of attractive to kids. You know, kids love to push buttons. They like to interact with their world, and this was kind of like that on steroids. Now, interestingly enough, I went there to that place in San Diego, probably 10 or 15 years ago with my dad. It didn't quite have the same appeal. I think they'd kind of redesigned the thing. But this is a fun place to go. There was a lot of interesting stuff that I saw that I thought was kind of fun, and definitely a lot of stuff that's hands-on that the kids will enjoy. So if you ever get a chance to check out the Perot Museum of Natural History and Science, definitely check it out, because this was worth the time I spent here. I'm glad I came. All right, so anyway, I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.